Welcome back to the shop. We got some fun stuff going on today. We're going to make some binding later, but let's first get started on the top again. This is all nice and dry, ready to go through the sander, so we're going to run it through the thickness sander. Alright, so I rough sanded the top down to 80 grit. So now before I change my sandpaper over to the 180 I picked up, I'm going to run the sides of the guitar. I guess they call them the ribs, something like that, through the thickness sander. And just to get them down, we're going to rough these up as well through the 80 before we switch it up to the little bit finer grade sandpaper. There we go. All right. So I took advantage of my thickness sander having the 80 grit, and I went ahead and took the back. And it is now just over 3 millimeters. 3.2, 3.3, somewhere around there. And that, when I'm finished, I'd like this piece to be close to 3. That'd be nice. Now, the mahogany sides are down to 2.8, 2.75, somewhere around there. So the final thickness on the sides before I bend them is going to be somewhere around the 2.2 mark, 2.3 mark. And then for the tight bends, I'll sand those down just a hair more. 2.1, 2.2, somewhere around in there. The top, 3.2. 3.4, or 3.2, 3.26. We're going to unplug it. Make sure that's the right plug. That's the right plug. Look at that. Oh, got a little bit of a burn mark. She's just at the end of its life. We're going to be changing this over to the 180. All right, that's enough dust for one day. I switched out the paper to 180. And we got the back thicknessed up, just about 3 mil. Yep, just over 3. Beautiful. So final sanding, that'll take that down a couple points. 2.3, 2.2, somewhere around in there. So these are ready to be bent. And I've got the top all cleaned up. 2.67 there, and 3 there. So what happens is when it's running through the sander, the edges will curl up a little bit, so the sides will sand a little more. I try to hold it down, but it's no use. All right. But anyways, there it is. You can see the top looks really good. The rosette looks really good. Now before I cut the hole out, I wonder if I should put some shell in the center. Leave me a comment. What do you think? Just a thin line of abalone or something would look pretty good. Maybe another line outside. Would look pretty good too. Anyways, and then I've got the braces all thickness perfectly now, down to 180 grit sandpaper, and they are 8 millimeters thick. Look at that. So they're all cleaned up, and this is kind of neat when you think ahead. I remember my first guitar that I made, it's sitting right there. I didn't worry about sanding these nice and getting a nice finish on them, and then after you bend the sides, build the guitar, man, you got a lot of sanding to do. So I spent a lot of time leveling it out on that guitar. So you got to kind of think ahead where you're at. Now the top, the reason I stopped is that I feel that that's enough deflection right there. So it's a little thicker than I thought it would be. By the time I'm done, it's going to be roughly about 2.8, 2.9. But I think it'll sound good. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm distorting the camera. But you can hear the bell tone out of it, which is pretty neat. So I was going to get to the binding tonight, but I think I've had enough sawdust for the time being. And I'm going to go in and chill out, and we'll talk to you all later.